today's live is again about value studies. I did a previous live on that. You can go back and check on my live section about those live studies. How, just using a basic color palette of black, you can do real good studies and understand the form of the subject, the light and dark of the subject. So today again, this session is going to be about that. And the reason I'm doing these value studies is because recently I have been doing the Strada Easel challenge, and on that challenge I have been doing the 10-minute messy series of mine. And on these messy series, now I'm just going to be showing you a few of them. Like, I started off with stuff from my desk. You can see that's the ink bottle. Then I have my trusted paint brush, an eraser, a pencil, a palette knife, and a tube of paint. Now each painting took only 10 minutes. They're kind of messy, as you can see them. There's a lot of splatter. There's a lot of loose expression of art, and the style and everything. The next page was all about serving cutlery of positivity, as you can see. I had done a previous Strada Easel challenge where I had used a lot of post-it notes. So I just used that kind of setup for this page. So we have be spontaneous, stay focused, and opportunity. I don't know how I would pronounce that. Opportunity awaits. Yeah. So this is basically serving cutlery of positivity. The next one, I'll move it away because then it's going to shake that thing, was all about from my kitchen again. Life is a tasty mess, relish it. Each took 10 minutes, and that's what it's about. Yeah, and then this one was a fun one where paint meets play. I really enjoyed this. Chess piece, playing card, jigsaw puzzles, Scrabble, and I don't know whether you've played this game or not. This is Picturica. So again, this was a lot of fun. Doing this was super fun. This is one of my favorite page, I think. Of all the pages, I think I really love this because I love the Scrabble, and then the playing card also turned out pretty good for 10 minutes. And this is kind of cute. So yes, and the next one was from my bathroom sink. Now, I'm a total electric toothbrush one. So this is the brush, this cute soap dispenser, floss. I'm a dentist, so I really recommend always floss your teeth. Without these, life would be really blurred. And toothpaste. Hi, Bridget. How are you? So good you could join in, Bridget. So the next page I won't be able to show because I'm still, showing it on my um, Instagram as well as on YouTube. You can check out the shorts. I have shared shorts of all these. These are each, sorry about that. Each of them are 10-minute series. You can check this out. This is my 10-minute messy series. It's the time to play. It's the time to really have fun. So I thought, let's do a live on this thing and check out how everybody likes it and how, keep it really good and fun. So we're going to be doing today a few lives. I think we should do at least 3 on this page. Yeah. So the same pattern is going to follow. I'll be sketching it first, but here I'm going to be reducing it to a value study. So a value study is something like this. Okay. So we're going to be doing something like this. Really getting the lights and the darks very clear. So this is something, but we're going to be doing something else, some other, maybe, yeah, I have a few photographs. Let's start with the mushrooms. Okay, so we're going to start with the mushrooms. Now, the basic task is to try and finish it off as fast as I can, but it should be looking like a mushroom. That's the basic goal. That's it. Getting the darks and the lights and the form really clear. So I'm going to be using, I prefer using a 0.005 because it's like really thin, and that's a good thing. So let's start with the sketch, and you can see that and just sketching it out. So yeah, that's quite a basic sketch now. Now we're going to be remembering where the light is, and in that area I am not going to be putting any water. Now the things that I'm going to be using, or the materials that I'm using a watercolor paper. I'm using this micron pen. Anything which is water resistant ink, you could use a fountain pen or anything like that. It has to be just water resistant. Then I'm going to be using a mop brush. Now this is a Chinese mop brush. And I'm going to be using a water brush. Okay. You could use watercolors for this session, but I'm going to be using my Inktense blocks. You only need black, so nothing to worry about, but you could use any other color too. It doesn't matter. Maybe we could do this with some color. Let's see how it goes. But for the moment, we're going to be doing a wet on wet. Now, what's a wet on wet? The surface is wet, the color is wet. Okay, so we know the areas where it's going to be lighter. So we are going to be just applying. Now, this is not going to be visible to you guys, so I'm really sorry about that. Don't put too much water. And yeah. Now we're going to be taking, should we take brown or should we take black? Let's go with brown. Why not? I wanted to do value studies, but it's okay. We can do it with brown too. A really diluted only those areas where we feel. And you can automatically see it's got some structure. We also have a lot of shadows, so why not? Okay, maybe we could go with a different color for the shadows, but at the moment, that's what we're doing. Also, I keep a sponge, just to wipe my brushes. It really helps. Now I'm going in with the water brush. Now this is going to be kind of fun. It's like magical. So we have, oh wow. And you can see we wait. We actually wait for that color to do its magic. Just keep waiting. Okay? Dry this brush really well. Take a little water. This is watercolor. You can say it's kind of watercolor. But moreover, I would say they are value studies. And we're going to be waiting for this to dry now. You could also take some tissue, and wherever you feel that the color has, gone really, you want to blend it. You don't want it to have harsh lines. You get those nice blends. Okay? And we wait for this to dry a bit, because if it doesn't dry, you're going to have a lot of spread of color as we had. And this is a value study, so we're not going for perfect colors. And now we're just adding colors because it is slightly dry now. And we can see that the form is quite obvious now. We have certain places over here. Hi Neha, how are you? So Neha is an amazing friend of mine. She does some gorgeous works. So if you are on Instagram, do check out her page. Lovely work you'll see. A really dear friend of mine. So these are the 10-minute series that, I have been really enjoying. I'm so glad you could make it. I've been enjoying your, series of that where you have the wind and repulsion, was it? Where Mr. Bean was painted. That was a good one. I really loved that. Now for the shadows, we're going to be seeing that it's kind of wet. A tissue is a great tool to keep. Maybe we could, go with some blue. Complementary always works if you want to create drama. The task is only that once it's 10 minutes, you're supposed to let it go. Now, because of the light, you can't see this, but this is proper shadow, okay? Once it is dried, you could always go ahead and, just want it to be, yeah. You can go and add in some more stuff on it. But what I'm going to do is my favorite thing, add a bit of splatter. So I'm going in with blue for the splatter. And the best way to splatter is you can tap. And when you tap, you get some really good splatters. And what do you do now? We're done with this one. Going to keep it messy. We have mushrooms. Your fun guys. Thank you so much. So isn't that cool? Mushroom, you're fun guys. So we've done with the mushrooms. 10 minutes in and it's been a good start. Let's go for something else. So we have kiwi, we have cherries, lemon. Let's go with slices of oranges. That'll be good. Good one. Fun guys. Yeah, they're fun guys. They're having fun with the 10-minute messy series. So now, and you know what? This is such a lovely blend of that blue with the brown. Splatters give you really loose work, so it's good fun. I'm not going to be going with the whole painting. I'm just going to be using those three because today it's the day of threes. So we're going to go with those three slices. Let's draw that. And instead of just doing this straight line, give it a little wonkiness. That adds more fun to it. Okay? So that wonkiness is going to be good. And yeah. Okay, now this is a 0.005. Now why do I go with such a thin one? Is because automatically, because of the pen too, the lines are not perfect. They get scratched a bit. So that's another good way. Also doing continuous lines is also good fun. Yeah. So we've got these three pieces. Fine. Now, again, think about dark and light. Dark and light. The light is coming from here. The shadows are falling here. So this is going to be lighter. This is going to be darker. These areas are going to be lighter. These areas are going to be lighter. And we have the lighter part as it is of yeah, kind of. So let's see. Again, we're doing the wet on wet. So for wet on wet, that just means that you're going to be wetting certain areas of the page, of the drawing, and then you're going to be adding color. So all those areas where, I'm going to be, okay, I don't want too much color, is going to be left. Now this has too much of water. That's what happened in the first one too. Let's just wipe it off. That's why keep a sponge on the side, that takes in the extra water. Yeah, now I can see it. It's lesser. So all that white area, I'm going to be just leaving it. But also over here, I'm going to be leaving certain areas. Okay. Now, should I go with black and white or should I just go in with the color? Let's go in with colors. But I was saying this is a value study. Let's go in with color. Okay, let's go in with black and white. Let's go in with black and white. No, such a gorgeous looking orange. No, let's go with black and white. It was a value study. Monochrome. Okay. Let's go with the value study. So now I'm going to be taking black because I wanted to show you this, guys. This looks so damn gorgeous. This is like so much fun. Do try it out when you're sitting down. Just, it's good fun. So we are going to go with gosh, this is horrible. It has to go with color. Fruit can't be. And see, it's so good. They say you can't correct your mistakes. You can. I want color over here. I'm crazy about color. So let's go with color. So what color? We'll go with orange. We're going with orange. Let's go with orange. Maybe a little bit of yellow. Yeah. I couldn't do that kind of injustice to something so delicious looking. Because of the black, you get this kind of a muted orange, but I guess it's okay. At least it's got some color. And now we're going in with darker color. Here they are quite reddish, So, oops. So let's go with more water also and more color. Take a lot of color. Yeah. And now I'm letting that be. Bringing in some orange over here. With dark. Now they are hanging in air. Unless you put in some kind of shadow, it just doesn't work. So you need shadows. So I'm going in with some shadows, and this has a kind of greenish teal background. So let's see if we can, make something like that. Because I have a limited palette too. And yeah, I have something like that. And we have yes, see, automatically it starts getting formed. The moment you add shadow, you are adding a new dimension to it. Yeah, it just pops up. Shadows are very important. I have a video on shadows. If you haven't checked that out, go and check it out. It likes breaks down shadows so beautifully that you're never going to have any problem, and you'll understand how to get that perfect shadow. We're done with the shadows. Now let's add in just a touch of maybe we have, and you can always do one more thing, is just check your color. I always do that if I'm not very sure of my mixes. So if I'm not sure, I will just go and check it out. So maybe a lighter color. To give it that thing. And I think it's done. Don't take more than 10 minutes. Now we need to give it a nice title. So it's orange and we have to give it a nice title now. Excuse me. You could take a thicker pen for this. Squeeze me. Yeah, that's nice. So that's a good one. Now for the third one, um, so you see, we did this. Oh, we forgot the splatters. How can we forget splatters? That's not fair. I'm going in with orange because orange is going to make it feel like, we have some kind of juice spilling down. Thank you so much, Neha. I love adding puns. And this is good. Oops. Too much? Done. Yes. So now we're going to go with one more. And that'll be the end of the session. So we've been for the live for the past around 30 minutes, and we've already done two with all that chatting. Usually when I'm painting, I don't chat so much. So yes, this one. These are cherries. So let's go with cherry. Again, let's draw. It's quite a dark one on a dark background, which is like not having much of a contrast, but it's okay. Holding that pen at the rear end is just a great way to get really loose drawings. Now this has really bright, what would say, highlights. So we're going to be careful about that. Okay, this one doesn't have a stem. Now, whenever you're drawing, you can see you're just hanging in air. But we leave it at that. And since it's such a dark one, I think I'm going to do a value study for this one. And I hope I can do that. So we're going to be going just with areas, leaving the white areas, the way they are. There is a good shadow over here. Just wetting the areas. Yeah. Now you cannot see where I'm applying water. Sorry about that. And now I'm going with black. And you'll be like, she was saying the same thing before, but she didn't use, but now I'm going to be using black. I know it's so much of fun and it's so relaxing, Neha. I just feel that it just really, I have really enjoyed this series. And I also keep, a white Posca or a camel marker, acrylic marker basically, to if I just miss out on the whites, I can add it, but you can only add them once they're dried. That is something that you have to, manage. Now the wet part is done, and usually I wait for 5 minutes. Not 5 minutes also, I just wait for some time. Now this is the darker one, so we could add This has a nice shadow. You could lighten it at the edge. Now usually you need to wait for some time because this needs to be a little dry, but we're going to go ahead because that's how my 10-minute messy series were. Kind of messy because I didn't have time to wait. Again, the shadow. Blot it out a bit. Yeah. Also, we could that adds a nice touch. Yes, gouache works very well. Sorry about that. White gouache also works well. Now we need this to be a little dry because we're going to go with really thick, dark paint. Maybe I could dry it on the sponge and it's still quite wet. If you feel it's still quite wet, this is what I usually do. And then I start adding in color. Okay. You have harsh lines, just wipe your brush and that's it. See, it's done. Again, take really thick paint. I'm wiping it on this. Again, taking thick paint, going in on this area. This is kind of nice dry. So it's blending also. Yeah. That looks gorgeous, doesn't it? That's beautiful, I think. It's got a lovely, it blended really well. It was perfect. The drawing was perfect. Let's add some interesting yeah. I think this came out gorgeous. I just feel it's wonderful. This one, let's see. Yeah, this is also kind of good. We have it's got a nice shadow over here. Could darken these a bit. Add more water later on, but now we're just going to be first adding in the color. And yeah, that's kind of good. So that was a value study. The highlight is great, I know. Now Um, my favorite is this one, I would say, for sure. That wins hands down. Maybe, just it needs a little bit of, not that dark also. Just wiping, offloading the brush a bit. Yeah. Oh, wow. Now so I did a value study, and we need to give this guy a nice title. Just keeping it really cool and messy. Scribbles and everything. The only thing which comes to my mind whenever I see cherries is French mon chéri, means my dear friend or whatever. Mon chéri or me is my dear friend. So yeah, that's what comes to my mind. And one more thing that comes to my mind is this guy needs to be dark. This is also now looking good. And yes, it does look darker than that. Bien, très bien, very well. Yes, so we've got this. Today's session was a lot of fun. Thank you, Neha, for joining in. It was good to have somebody to interact with, and it would be good if others also would write down their names when they join in and let me know who they are, so I can get to know you better. We forgot something over here, something very important, and that's a good splatter. But I'm going to go with red now for the splatter, just for fun. Not too much water. And people go and check out Neha's page on Instagram. Oh yes, that is fun. Do try out splatter. It just transforms the whole painting, gives it so much of looseness. And these are good studies. You're sitting down, you want to try out something, just take out take out any reference and just start it. You could do these, you could do these, you could do anything. Try using colors which are complementary to each other. So this works out great. So we need to give this page a name. Like we need to give it some nice name. What name should we give it? The good, the bad, the ugly. So everybody can decide what's good, what's bad, and what's ugly. Oh, now let me think. I'll need some time to think about it. This needs a good title. So I'll put it in my stories or I'll post it later on. But yeah, they're all good. So that's why I don't want to put good, bad, ugly. Someone might just feel bad about for the cherries if we call them ugly. So I'll think about it and I'll write a good title for this. And it was glad that all of you could join in. It was a wonderful session. I had some great time with everybody. It was good fun painting, and if you enjoyed such kind of lives, do join in. Mostly it's on a Saturday, and it's quite interactive, as you can see, and I'm just having a good time over here painting, and you also can join in. If you paint something like that, you can tag me on Instagram and I'd love to share it on my stories. So thank you once again for joining. I'll see you soon on Conversations with Canvas. Bye bye. Take care. Love you. Bye bye.